All right, trying to communicate with my director. So it's time now to take a look at Mind Your Language with none other than Willice The Word Master joining us live from Kisumu County. Willice, it's so great to see you after that 1 week break. How are you this evening?
Fine, Betty. How have you been, my dear sister?
I've been really, really great. And I was somewhere and people were discussing that laughter. They say that it's not quite normal, Willice.
Which one is that now, Betty?
Even the way you say Betty, you know, they're like, okay, interesting. All right, Willice. So we want to...
know.
Yeah. So I want us to start with Word on the Street, Willice. Let's take a look at what Kenyans had to say this week.
Quotuo. Quotuo.
Koto. Koto.
Quotuo. Quotuo. Quoto. Quoto.
Kowtow. Kowtow. Quoton. Quoton.
Kotao. Kotao.
Kotao. Kotao. Go down. Go down.
Go tao. Go tao.
Goto. Goto.
Koto. Koto.
Koto. Koto.
Koto. Koto.
Koto. Koto.
All right, Willice, you know this English, sometimes it sounds so scientific, especially when you listen to Kenyans on the street. So I won't even try and pronounce it because I'm not even sure what it, how it is pronounced. But for our audience, this word means an act, to act in an excessively subservient manner. Okay, so Willice, take it away. Kowtow, kowtow, how do we say it?
I know. Betty, you see, kotu, koto, cotton, and all that, in fact, they can be, amusing, but amusing for learning. That is why I also found, I found myself, laughing a bit, but laughing for our lesson, not laughing at somebody, because you never know. Nobody can be perfect when it comes to pronunciation of English words. But now, this word, Betty, we say kowtow, to kowtow. In fact, somebody almost got it right. I think he got it by saying kowtow. So we say kowtow, and this is like, sometimes somebody can show, too much respect to somebody in authority, or, trying to please somebody who is in authority. So to kowtow to somebody, not to kowtow, and all that. But Betty, if you allow me also, there is something that, in fact, is coming in huge, numbers, if I may use that. Somebody is asking me about beach and beach. I don't know where they had this. This is somebody, Stephen Odhiambo and Mungai Wagasheru. You say beach, B-I-T-C-H, but when we have B-E-A-C-H, you say beach, beach. The upper one, beach. The lower one, beach. And Betty, we don't say Happy New Year. Year ni sikio. Happy New Year, sikio. We say year. Year or year. So when we talk about Happy New Year, we should avoid saying Happy New Year. That is sikio. Betty, we can carry on.
Hey, Willice, that was a roller coaster ride of words, but much appreciated. The female dog and, the beach, Okay, interesting. Thank you so much, Willice, for that clarification. Okay, so let's move on to the next word. And pyrethrum. I remember this word from my school days, Willice. How do we go about that one?
Letter E takes the long vowel sound E, not E. Not the sound E. The letter is E, but you say re, not re. So we should avoid pyrethrum and say pyrethrum. Pyrethrum, not pyrethrum.
Pyrethrum. Willis, you know that word reminds me of the time
Yes.
you taught us that you say onion and not onion. That was one of my best lessons, I think, this year. So it takes me back to that.
If you
Pyrethrum.
remember onion, you should
Onion.
also remember that I said at one time that we see the spelling O-V-E-N and we say oven without knowing that it's oven or oven. That O takes the sound A, just like in the word sun or the first O of onion.
Oven and onion.
Yes.
Got it, Willis. Sometimes, you know, when you see, when you say that to your auntie from, you know, where I come from, you know, Mwingi, they won't understand. So maybe you'll just have to say onion, you know. But got it, Willis. Understood. Understood. All right,
Yes,
Willis.
yes.
Moving on to the next word. Acupuncture, is that the correct pronunciation of that word? A-C-U-P-U-N-C-T-U-R-E. I know this word as acupuncture. Acupuncture. Is that correct?
No, you say acu.
What?
Acupuncture. Acupuncture. You don't say aka. Acupuncture.
Okay.
Don't talk of acupuncture, Betty, especially in careers of serious communication. Sometimes those who know may wonder what could be happening. But we say
What could be
acupuncture.
happening?
The only thing that I always remind everybody is nobody can be totally
Perfect.
or can be perfect.
Okay. All right, Willis. I was a bit embarrassed there for saying acupuncture so confidently, but hey, we're all learning, aren't we? Yeah?
It
And
happens, Betty.
And Willis, do you say aren't we or aren't we? That's another one.
Well, we have are and not. Are and not.
Yes.
When you have the short form of are not, you don't say aren't. We say and with the long, low front vowel sound are. Aren't you? You are sick.
Okay.
Aren't you? Not aren't you, which is commonly said. And Betty, we say want, not warrant you. Want you. You were sick. Want you. Want you, not warrant you as we normally say it. And you know, as you put it, when you tell that to a villager,
Yeah.
but not all villagers are not knowing English. Some
Okay.
of them are very smart, not even those ants. So sometimes it depends on, that background that one has and, the interest in what we call now the English phonology in terms of the standard or acceptable pronunciations, Betty.
Got it, Willis. Moving on to the next word. Willis, I'm telling you, make English sound like a topic in chemistry for some strange reason. Moving on to the next word, Willis. Higher. This one,
Betty.
do you say liquor, liqueur? This is another one that I think it would work so perfectly as word on the street. But for tonight, though, talk to us about this one.
That is L-I-Q-U-O-R.
Uh-huh.
That is liquor. Liquor.
Okay.
What we should avoid is saying li. Liquor, no. You say li with the short or pure vowel sound e, like in hit. Liquor. Not liquor, not liqueur. So, liquor.
It's so funny how you say liquor. I know which region that has come from. Moving on to the next word, liquor. Higher. Moving on to the next word, Willis. Disenfranchise, is that the correct pronunciation of this word? I know it as that. Very many people have asked about this one, Willis.
But what you avoid is these. There is something that is, killing us. I'm saying killing in quotes, because since we hardly learn the sounds of English properly or accurately, sometimes we make so many mistakes. Like you realize you've said these. We say this, just like this. Disenfranchise.
Okay.
Disenfranchise, not disenfranchise. But it happens, Betty. Those sounds are tricky, and we are not native speakers of the language.
Of course not. Thank you so much, Willis, for that. Moving on to our feedback question. Maina Kamoni of Starehe Boys Center. He's asking about this ADO. much ado about nothing, ado about nothing. How do we pronounce that one, Willis?
You say ado.
Okay.
Without further ado. Without
Okay.
more ado. That is without delay. So you say without much ado.
Okay.
Without further ado. Or you can say more ado. And that one, Francis Maina Kamoni, I think he must have heard it somewhere, maybe today or yesterday, because I've also seen the way he has brought that question in.
Yeah.
And Betty, when we look at the other people as we normally do it, Kibe Hesbon and Rogers Masengo, in fact, the duo are from Kisii, great lovers of Friday Briefing, by the way.
Oh,
they
thank
say
you.
they want to know whether we say shoshomba or shushumba. We say cucumber. So Kibe Hesbon and Rogers Masengo, it's cucumber, not shoshomba, shushumba, and all that. You avoid that, especially when you are in serious communication. Emmanuel Mwau and Fred Opundo, thank you so much. Thank you very much. If you like, thank you so much. And then we have Maureen Njoguna. You say cyber cafe. Cyber cafe. Sometimes, Betty, some things can be a bit embarrassing when you are not aware. Like you are in a cyber cafe and somebody is making a call and says, yes, I am in a cyber cave. And, you know, sometimes with what you call swag. And then
Swag.
I am in a cyber cave. Then you see, without knowing, it's a cyber cafe. But it happens to all of us. Sometimes when you're not sure
Yeah.
and you think you know, but nobody's perfect.
Willis, I'm
Then we
impressed you
have
remember the word
Philomena
swag.
Sankale. Yeah.
Yes.
That word really amuses me
Swag,
sometimes
eh?
when I remember it. But,
So, okay.
but Philomena Sankale, you say passion. Passion. A passion for something. You have a passion for music, a passion for something. Don't say a person or a person. That one is not there. That is Passion. Passion.
Okay.
Then Brian Nyakwada, you say finite. Finite and memoir. Frank Omondi, the plural of Mr. That title, the plural is MESSRS, and you say messers.
Messers.
Messers, not
Right.
messiahs and all that. Messers
Messiahs.
and all that. Then we have Dr. Patrick. You say conceptualization. Conceptualization.
All right.
So avoid conceptualization. Bet you get that?
I've gotten it, Willis, for
Conceptualization,
sure. Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Conceptualization, no. Conceptualization. Then,
Zation.
Betty, we can now go to our surprise word.
Willis,
tonight.
marathon, I'm telling you, marathon of words, but we better get over and done with, you know, we're just a date to 2017. So
I
let's
know.
cross over with the right pronunciations.
Yes.
Higher. Finally, Willis.
Yes. This is your word, Betty. And it's the surprise word for tonight.
Yeah.
Many people say
Grandeur.
Grandeur.
That's
we
what I
don't
say.
say that. You say grandeur. Grandeur, and you can also say grandeur. Grandeur or grandeur. But grandeur, no. That's what we should avoid. You avoid grandeur,
Yeah.
say grandeur
Yes.
or grandeur.
Okay.
A very tricky word always. And finally,
Yeah.
the confusing words. And this one comes because of, you know, public interest, because these two words are commonly confused
Yeah.
even in careers of serious communication. When we talk of L-O-S-E, you say lose. To lose something, that is a verb. To lose something, L-O-S-E. But when we talk of something that is not firm, or something that is, you know, it's not,
Firm.
you know, firm at all, you say loose, loose. That is
Loose.
with the voiceless sound, s, loose.
Okay.
Loose. L-O-O-S-E, loose.
Yes.
L-O-S-E, lose. So, Betty,
Heh,
it's
Willis.
important sometimes to know these things
Very
when we are
important.
in careers of serious communication.
Willis, thank you so much. You know, it's been a great year here on Mind Your Language, Willis. This is the year I've also remembered that we learned that we don't say spinach, but we say spinach. Spinach. So I use that a lot over the last...
Or spinach.
Yes.
Spinach or spinach. So, and tortoise, not
Tortoise.
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 And not tatas.
Tortoise.
Tortoise. Tortoise.
I'm
Not
telling-
tatas, not tortoise.
I'm telling you, Willice, I've been shining. This last week when, you know, I was away for my small vacation, I've been really shining. You know, you just say a word and people don't understand what you're saying and you just leave them like that, you know. Now this weekend I'll use grandeur. Willice, it's been...
but we have to get it right, Betty. We have to get it right. That is why we say, as journalists, as, you know, lecturers, as lawyers, as marketers, you know, language is your tool of trade. So you have to get it right from grammar to vocabulary and to pronunciation so that you communicate clearly. And effectively.
I meant that, Willice, and it's pronunciation, not pronunciation, Willice. Okay, well, I think we could go on and on, yeah? Yeah? Pronunciation.
And
Willice.
on and on. So let us leave it at that, Betty, and Happy New Year, not Happy New Year.
Okay, Happy New Year, Willice, the word master there. Thank you so much. It's been a great year, Willice. We appreciate all the work you do for us here on Friday Briefing, teaching us those difficult pronunciations like spinach.
Betty, before I go, kindly, for the sake of our viewers, we love families, and just allow me, and I know our dear viewers will also just, you know, love this. I would say thank you also to my family. That is Austin, Brighton, Chantel, and their wonderful mother, Fanny's Obare. I have to do that because we are ending the year. They have been behind me, supporting me in everything, Betty.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much. Willice, it's great to, of course, appreciate the people who are closest to you. And I see you have some Luya blood. You know, that's what we do most of the times. We tuma salam. Okay, Willice. Thank you so much, Willice, the word master. They're joining